Welcome back to Rave Master Anime Review Part 4. This one covering the final arc of the anime. Yes, the final arc. The Symphonia arc, which covers the last 10 episodes of the anime, basically. Episodes 40 to 51 in the manga. This was 21 chapters. 75-95. What I remember from reading from the manga, this didn't pretty much change. Though they did change one little word of dialogue. But mostly put, yes, this is mostly the same. This basically is kind of a big turning point of this particular series. Also, at this point, it's been 6 months since the last arc. Yes, we have a time skip. Yes, an actual time skip. They also have one at the start of the next arc, another time skip that was actually a lot shorter than 6 months. This arc is noteworthy for the debut of the Shadow Master, an evil Rave Master, who is actually King's son. Yeah, the character King, who was kind of the main villain. He was the main villain for the first half of the series. Well, for the first, it was up until Tower of Den. Yeah, prior to Tower of Den, the guy only appeared once, and that was when it was actually in the Mystery of Ellie arc. Yeah, it was actually a couple arcs back when they introduced him. He was simply a background antagonist, that's what King was, and now we see his son. And he's a lot more eviler than he was. He even does something, even after this was really kind of weird for him to do. Yeah, I'm actually quite glad they kept this in. Because the whole thing with Symphonia is that before they even get to the actual country itself, they're flying there. Of course, they had to go through this annihilation storm. But they come across a airship. Yes, an airship. Which essentially it looks like from the outside, it looks like a giant city. What is this place? It's a freaking casino. And Ellie, she must have a good luck charm for how much she's winning at playing, like, well, even though she calls it the arcade. She loves gambling. How do you think how they finance their expeditions across the planet looking for these gravestones? She gambles, and she's damn good at it. Bring out more money because they keep running out of money, so they keep getting more and more. It's so funny. And at one point, Haru runs out some money. He doesn't want to play anymore. He says, "I'm gonna get something to eat." And then Ellie just takes out some cash, probably because some from one of her winnings. Gives Haru and has him go eat with Plu. And this is so funny. When Ellie meets up with him, Plu is like basically big. He's like stuffed and Haru is stuffed too. So Ellie is like, okay, I'm gonna order something too. This is like after she had finished playing her. I think she was playing poker. Yeah, she was playing poker by herself against the dealer, which apparently she's damn good at gambling. She loves doing this because that's what she's doing in the pilot episode. So why the heck not? Also, apparently, was a rule that everybody had to wear formal wear. Like she's the first one we see wearing formal. She wears just this backless dress. It's beautiful on her. Haru and I believe Let is wearing suits. Mystica is wearing a suit as well, but without a tie. Even Blue, I thought this was so adorable that Blue put on a suit. I thought this was so funny. And while Ellie is gambling with Haru, and it came up to, with, of course, Plu went with Haru anyways. So Griff, Let, and Mystica come up with the interesting suggestion. Get a sponsor to sponsor their expedition to find these. Yes? That was my niece. You had to find the gravestones, which is actually not a bad idea. Of course, Mystica does his usual thing of hitting on like every single woman he comes across. And he strikes out. Let basically tries, though I think his parents, though he's kind of mistakenly referred to as an alligator and a crocodile, so I think he's a freaking dragon. And of course, this kind of gets undone in the next arc anyways. And they strike out, and they come across the Jiggle. I'm not calling them by their actual, they call them the Dub, or the Big Buck Bandits. Yeah, somehow the Jiggle Buck Gang has basically wandered on board of this casino ship. As for how the heck they got there, never explained. It's like, oh, they're just there for some reason. I think the reason why they're here is because fans love the Jiggle Buck Gang. And I think this is by far the last time they appear in the anime after this three-parter, because after this, they don't appear in the series ever again. For good reason. because the series ended with this very arc for some strange reason. I don't know why. So, like, they rescue the owner of the place, who actually becomes their sponsor anyways. His name is Ruby, and he's a freaking penguin. A pink penguin, mind you. Yes, a pink penguin. And they introduce kind of new villains because the Shadow Girl was annihilated in the last arc. So they have these people cut to pieces. Now, and by the time they finally arrive at Symphonia, which they had to go through the Annihilation Storm, which is like a regular, a big, humongous thunderstorm. Of course, Ellie has her whole thing of being afraid of thunder. And Horrors were basically cut through because the gate they were supposed to go through, which is actually owned by Ruby, was destroyed by one of the new villains. Though he doesn't really do anything in this arc, he does play a role in the next arc as well. This guy who wears a pumpkin thing. Yeah, it was really odd. Yeah, it's odd though that the guy who's mentioned in this arc, I think his name is Daru, I think his name is. He actually shows up in the next arc, and he's actually the main villain in the next arc. Yep. And this arc is also noteworthy for the return of the Erasion 6. After they were supposedly eliminated by King, it turns out, nope, they never actually went to Shadow Guard headquarters. They went someplace else. Yep, a place where they built a brand new fortress. Which by the next arc is already complete anyways. Oh yeah, and it was many revelations in this arc. And it turns out the name Ellie and, of course, number 3173 are actually coordinates for a particular area. And they go, when they get this one, and they land, it's basically a barren wasteland. It's like nothing of the country. So they go to the coordinates, still wasteland, turns to a forest, and then of course there's this skeleton who also wears Ellie's necklace. And Ellie just wanders to the forest. Of course, she's got a broken arm because she got a broken arm. I believe it was, actually this happens a little bit later. Yeah, I believe. Actually, the whole broken arm thing comes a little bit later, where she goes to Raisha Valentine's grave and has a memory, and apparently the person who was with her after it's never explained what happened to her parents, because it turns out she never really was an experiment. That whole thing was a lie. Yeah, Stagheart didn't technically lie. He mistakenly assumed she was an experiment. Turns out she really wasn't. Yep. So turns out she did have parents, and apparently she had powers. She's had her powers since she was a little kid. And she also says, "Yeah, Dad, let's go to the zoo today." And then Mom's like, "What's your favorite animal?" "Horses." And I was like, "You went to the horse track, didn't you, instead of going to the zoo?" And of course they had to rush out, and of course they had fun. And of course that very day was actually Ellie's 5th birthday. And she looked so adorable as a 5-year-old. Yep. So, and there's this guy who she later encounters who has the same marking as Stagheart. She never talks about this, which is a little weird. I'm like, who the heck is this guy that has the same mark? It could be one of the time guards. They never explore this in this arc, which is kind of weird. She never mentioned about it. So yeah, then they encounter Erasion 6 later on after this particular encounter. And of course they meet the Shadow Master. And then he does the most strangest thing to Ellie. He makes out with her. I'm not kidding, he does. Even when I saw this, I'm like, what? What the heck is this? Why is he making out with the lead protagonist for? And there was a reason. To unlock the seal that she had placed on her body from the Mystery Ellie arc. Yeah, kind of. It's not exactly fully unlocking it, it's like partially unlocking it. So the way to unlock it is to make out with her in front of everybody. Haru gets ticked off and wants to kill him on sight for this. He gets jealous, of course. Prior to them even getting there, there's this hilarious moment where the rain just really gets really bad, and I think it's Ellie. Ellie falls right on top of Haru. Haru gets knocked over, and then Ellie falls like right on top of him.
And hit the final name.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Recording a video.
Why?
Because I feel like it.
Hello.
Anyways, so let's see. Yeah, and of course they have a little moment later on Haru, where Haru falls in Ellie. Can I help you with something? Yeah. Haru falls in Ellie. That was not as embarrassing as the other time they did it. Yeah. So yes. Could you go over there, please? Over there, please, Bailey. Thank you. So let's see what else. And of course, right after that, that's when the Ritual 6 show up and they start fighting them. And like a lot of these episodes get like their own standalone fights. Like you have Let fighting, I think his name is Jackov. I think his name is the guy who rides like a dragon. And it turns out the dragon is actually Let's lover. He thought that actually died. Yeah, it turns out it was an illusion. Reina fights Mystica because of both Silver Claimers. And of course, she accuses him, well, mainly his master, of stealing a weapon known as the Silver Ray, was in the shape of a ship. Turns out there was never actually proof. It's like he suspected he could have done it, but nope. Of course, the reason why she went after him is because her father was accused of stealing it, and he was executed for it. Yep. And of course, when Rhea shows up, she wears this lovely looking red dress, and she has this little snake charm on her arm. Let's see what else. They have Haru fight one of their guys. They have Ellie fight the guy who cares about his good looks, which she kicks him in the groin, and then she just blasts him in the face with one of her Tafa blasters. It's so hilarious. And of course, the leader of the group doesn't do much of anything. He accuses Haru of being weak. Yeah, I don't really care for this guy at all. The rest of Racing on 6 are actually pretty interesting characters. He is not, for instance, a big bulky guy. Still recording video. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, they have the major battle takes place over the course of the episodes. And then the battle gets wrapped up by episode 50 when they realize that Ellie's power is too much for them, so they all just abruptly leave. Like, oh, Ellie's power is too much for them. Let's all just flee from the country. It's like that old Monty Python sketch. It's like they see something in front of them, they're like, run away, run away. It's so funny. Though it's kind of like that. They just hop on the dragon and just go fly away. The dragon basically is turned to human later on, and later arc, which arc it happens in. They go exploring. Of course, they reveal that they even search for the other Rave Stones, and Stagheart goes on his own. As for how he got there, just via magic, as apparently he's a powerful magician, despite being also a time guard. Still recording, Bailey.
Why?
Because I want to, that's why.
Why?
Because I do.
Why? Why?
I like putting reviews out, okay?
Why?
I just do, okay?
Okay.
I think what else. Yeah, and of course the end of the series sets up more adventures, which never happened because the series was canceled after like 1 year of airing. I have heard a rumor it may be canceled low ratings, but after only adapting like 90 chapters of the manga, I'm like, this is an odd way to end the series. Yeah, it sets off basically, it ends on a happy note, which is nice, but it feels like though there could be more story to tell, but nope, can't do that because we canceled the series of 51 episodes for some strange reason. Trying to think though, oh yeah. I kind of wish they would have continued the series, and it's also quite odd that they never fully adapted the first 4 chapters of the manga. If they did bring the series back, my guess is I would for first just do an OVA, just adapting the first 4 chapters fully, and then pick up like how the actual series itself pick up right where this series left off, and just go straight forward after that. Yes. And I would give it like 100 episodes. Bye, Bailey. Bye, Russ. Anyways, let's see what else. I would definitely give it 100 episodes because that would be good enough to just pretty much adapt the whole entire rest of the manga, no problem. Either 100 episodes, but I would definitely not give it 50 because 50 I don't think would be enough, especially since you would have like 200 chapters left to adapt. Yeah, though it kind of looked like the way that the anime ended, it kind of looked like that. Well, they could have had it where it could have gone straight to 97 if they wanted to, because according to Look Up a Line, they adapted the first 12 books, which is kind of odd to say the least. The anime itself, from the dub I've seen with Tokyo Pop, the voice acting is fantastic that I've seen so far, and I love the opening theme. Yeah, it's something though that you see a show like this, and they have the same opening theme 51 episodes. Though this is the English dub version, I looked up online. Apparently in Japan, the sub actually had about 4 different themes. Okay. Also, one thing quite weird about the series, aside from it ended, the sub for this series, the original Japanese language, has never been released here at all. All other series I've watched have generally had their subs released here anyways. Not this series, surprisingly. I have no idea why. It's one of the most weirdest things. I have no idea why they did this for. And of course, the studio who made this series, Studio Dean, the only other series I've seen, I mentioned this part 1, the only other series I've seen they've actually done is the final season of Rurouni Kenshin. That was it. Yeah, they also did Rima 1/2, which is made by the same creator of Inuyasha. Yeah, I have never seen the series, never read the manga. I have no interest in it anyways. But in the case of this series, I love Rave Master, and it does have one thing in common with Bleach. Well, aside from the fact that it never finished the manga, at least the final episode is not an anime-only thing. Yeah, which makes it the first one I've seen that actually has done this. Actually, this is the third one, technically. Well, actually, this is the second one. For a series no longer airing, D-Grade Man is currently in hiatus because, well, the manga keeps going hiatus anyways. But if you look at a lot of the other series who never finished out with the manga, like Shaman King, Akame Got a Kill, I'm trying to think what else was it, Rurouni Kenshin, all went on fillers. Bye. A lot of the other series I've watched where they never actually finished out with the manga, almost every single one of them, except for this series, D-Grade Man, and Bleach, all ended on anime-only endings. Except at the ending of the series, the manga, they went with something anime original. Yeah, which makes this the third series I've seen that's actually done this, where they end basically death in the manga. And from what I looked up, basically for episode 41, it's partial canon, partial filler. It's mostly mixed between canon and filler. But it's interesting though that the series had filler. Fairy Tail had like about a good, if you look at the series itself, I would say a good 20% of the series is filler. Bleach, 50% of the series of that one is filler, like a good like half the seasons are filler. This one, only one episode was like this. I also gotta say that it's nice to hear the voice of the guy who played Sasuke, who played the voice of Haru Glory in this series. I gotta say, he does sound a little bit different, and one thing I do notice about some of the animation for this series, it's very similar to that of Shaman King. As a matter of fact, one of the episodes opened with a thing with manga, which is the same type of thing they use for Shaman King. The same thing for Shaman King. Yeah. And it's something, though, that when they did the crossover, like I said, when they did the crossover with Fairy Tail, it was made by the same studio who did Fairy Tail. And that has never officially been dubbed. But if you look at the dubs they did for... Here's the thing. Despite the fact that Rave Master and Fairy Tail were made by the same person, their animes were made by 2 different studios. But here's the thing. The dub is also done by 2 different studios. Rave Master is done by Tokyo Pop, which is the only Tokyo Pop dub I've actually heard. And Fairy Tail is done by Funimation. I kind of wish if let's say if they did dub the Rave Master Fairy Tail crossover, I would probably suggest having the actors from the Tokyo Pop, the dub cast from Tokyo Pop, actually do it. Though they would probably have to find like a dub actor for Julia, who is Let's girlfriend, because she technically never got one in this series. Nope. Also, fun fact, Stag Card is actually voiced by Christopher Friedman. Also thinking, like, who the heck is this guy? Well, he's the guy who voiced Itachi Uchiha from Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. He also voiced Alucard from Hellsing Ultimate. Yep, this same guy. And voiced it very similarly. Yeah, and as far as I can tell, when it comes to the current series, Eden Zero, there's like no character in that series based on my character from this one. Not that I could say no. Mostly that series takes a lot of character design ideas from Fairy Tail and one from Monster Hunter. Yeah, Rave Master was the second series I actually got. Like second or third series I got into. That was done by the same guy who did Fairy Tail. Of course, I got into Rave Master after I read Fairy Tail. I am reading the sequel series. Now, Rave Master, I don't think you can do a sequel series, especially since the series did kind of conclude, in a way. Yeah, the manga is officially over, and it did have an epilogue to the series. Fairy Tail, you can still tell more story with, but who knows how long the 100 Quest is going to last for. I highly doubt it's going to last like 100. I highly doubt it's going to be like a 100-year manga. My personal guess is that this particular manga, and this is just my theory, probably lasts for 2 or 3 years at most. And also, I do like the Silver Rhythm Gang, even though they call the Silver Knights in the manga. I don't mind the name change, but since I put the same people. Yep. And of course, seeing the brand new fortress. Apparently, the leader of the Eurasians, he had 3 goals. 1, building the headquarters, which they got. 2, they had to add a new member, which they do in the next arc anyways. And 3, have Lucia Ravegroove become the new leader of the Shadow Guard. Even though the manga they call it Demon Card. I don't mind the name change, besides Shadow Guard is more interesting named than Demon Card. Yeah. Otherwise, that's really it. Although was a fantastic anime. I just also got into today. Well, before I did this, I got into Ace Attorney, which expect to see a review of that probably by Sunday at this rate. Yes. Now, I am planning on doing reviews of the arcs of the manga that were never adapted. I'm currently working on Mermaid in Peril, the Mermaid Village arc, which is technically put. When I'm reading it, it feels like it's the Rave Master version of Fishman Island from One Piece. Yeah. Underwater, featuring mermaids. Yep, Fishman Island. Yeah, it's their take on it. Well, their own version of it anyways. Yeah. Now, that will be done. Now, there's currently I think it's about 4 or 5 arcs of the manga left. Yes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's about 6 arcs to go. Right now, for Mermaid Pearl, I'm currently at chapter 114 right now, which is the arc started at chapter 96, and I think about almost 20 chapters in right now. It's basically a 45 chapter arc, and I'm only 14 chapters in right now. I'm basically partially into it, but I should be able to finish it soon. I'll probably do a review of this arc and maybe the following arc tomorrow. Who knows? It could be also tonight as well, but it just depends, okay? But until I see you next review, bye.